Welcome to the Wish I'd Known Then podcast. I'm Sarah Rosette.
And I'm Jamie Albright. And this week on the show, we are talking
about Author Nation and all the people that we met there and some of our experiences.
Yeah, we had a fun time hanging out together. We hung out with H.Y. Hannah. The three of us were always together, and that was fun. But it was a great conference, and I led the romance panel. I moderated it, and I moderated the romantasy panel, and they both it was great. The people on them were so smart and was told by the audience members that they just got a lot out of it, and that's really what I wanted. I wanted the people in the audience to walk away with some good stuff.
Right.
You go to a panel and it's all basically the same questions, and I tried real hard to come up with some good ones.
Yeah, I thought they were good questions, and I did the cozy panel, and it was great fun. It was interesting because the panel was set up so where we each talked about something we were sort of specializing in. So I talked about Kickstarter and direct sales and letters, and then we also talked about translations and all kinds of different things. It was a good mix of information, and it was a lot of fun. And we met a whole lot of podcast listeners, and that was great. We gave out a lot of our little pins, P-I-N-S, like pins you pin on your lanyard, enamel pins. There we go. And that was fun to meet and talk to listeners. And then we talked to a lot of vendors and authors. I went around the last day, the ones that I could catch, and just talked to a lot of the vendors about what they did, what they had experienced at the conference, what questions they were getting. I didn't get to talk to everyone. I was trying to hit as many vendors as had sponsored our podcast, but I didn't get to talk to everyone, talk to some new people. So all those will be in this episode. Is basically just a clip show of me talking to different people on that last day. So I'll put a link to all the vendors in the show notes. So if you're interested in learning more, you can click that, and then talk to a lot of authors and narrator and some new authors that were there. So it's a good mix of just what people learned at the conference, what they took away, what they're excited about. And I asked everybody what they either did in Vegas or, if they got out of the conference hall, and some people did go out and do some things. So that was fun to hear their experiences in Vegas.
Yeah. Well, we went and had high tea.
We did.
We were very la-ti-da.
We were. We had a great time. It was really good. The view was amazing. We went to it was called Peacock Alley, I think, in the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. So completely different atmosphere than other places on the Strip.
It's almost like you're in a completely different world. And then now so I got to Vegas last Sunday. What was that, the 2nd?
Yes, I think so.
The 9th. I'm still in Vegas, but I'm out of the Strip. I'm just outside of Vegas at another casino because my parents, I think I told y'all, drove into Vegas for a golf tournament that my dad's playing in. And so the golf tournament was yesterday and today. And then I am driving home with them starting tomorrow. So they're going to bring me back to Houston, and I don't know, I guess we'll probably get there Thursday, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe probably Thursday. So this ought to be
it'll be memorable, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's fine. Actually, it's been yesterday was fun. My mother and I just hung out and didn't really gamble much at all. And then last night, she was hot. Like, she won so much money.
Wow.
I won some on it too, but not like her. And then I sat and played blackjack for about 4 hours or 5 hours.
Wow.
The same $100. Like, I sat down and I won up, I won down, and then I got back even, and I was like, okay, I'm done. My dad played for a long time. I mean, we had a really fun time. This morning, I lost that 100, won it back, and lost it again. So all before noon.
Sounds very Vegas.
It's very Vegas. That was my 100 to spend, so I'm good.
Yeah.
My mother and I were sitting out by the pool, just getting out of the freaking smoke. If you're please do not be offended, but wow. It is a lot.
Yeah, if you're
If
not
you're
around
not,
it, yeah,
yeah,
because when normally,
so
everything is non-smoking, so it's
yeah,
quite a change, very different. Yeah,
right, right.
and Jamie and her family were my backup plan because I was flying back on Saturday, and with all the airline issues and the cancellations, Jamie was like, "Well, you can always drive back with us." And I was like, "Okay, I'll sit on my suitcase if I have to because I may not be able to get home any other way." But my flight did not
Oh
get
my gosh, that
canceled.
would have been too much. It would have been so
It would have been a lot of fun, but
a
it would have
lot of fun.
maybe next year.
I've been looking forward to it only because, I just don't get to spend that much time with my parents because I don't live
Yeah.
close. But believe this morning I woke up and thought, oh, I wish I were home. I
Yeah.
wish I were home today and I
Mm,
was not going to have to take 4 days to drive home, but
mm.
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, I think I made a mistake not a mistake, but I would just not plan this type of trip again in the future because we did about 4 days in Colorado on the way to the conference. So we did several days there. Then we flew again,
Mhm.
landed, and were there a day or two early for the conference. And honestly, we were waiting for my husband went with me for the couple day for Colorado in the first 2 days of the conference. And we were sitting waiting for the Uber at the Las Vegas airport. And we were both like, yeah, we're just so ready to go home. So I
Yeah.
think for me, back to back trips are probably not a good idea, or back to back events. Maybe
Mhm.
just do one at a time and take a break between them. But I
Yeah.
had a great time once I got there, and we got to talk to so many people. And yeah, it was just good meeting up with everyone. It's the first time I've been to a really big conference and probably about maybe since before COVID, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a little jarring,
Mhm.
just the number of people. And, it's great because you can meet people from all different genres and just talk about all kinds of different things. There's so many vendors there. It was great to meet all the vendors. And I got some really good,
Yeah.
like,
What's some of your takeaways?
author leads. Well, I think one of them is I'm going to look into a couple of companies. One of them was DropCap. We met with them, and since I already have translations, they help authors do translations. They have a translation marketplace basically.
Yeah.
But since I already have translations done, I'm looking to do translations in languages that aren't German, French, and Italian. So I think they may be able to help me do some of that, find some companies that would maybe want to partner with me. So looking into that. And yeah, and I think Dan Wood and I talked about this a little bit in the little clip of the interview that I did with him. That I think what I need to do is actually thin things down and try and do less, not add more things.
Yeah.
So I need to figure out what I'm going to take off my plate. There's a
Wow.
Becca Syme ism for you,
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly.
What about you?
Well, again, it's hard when you've been in this business for a long time that, there's not a whole lot new. Plus, we do what we
Mm-hmm.
do.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's anything new, we're usually knowing about it pretty
Talking to somebody about it, yeah.
quickly. But, you know, I think that the best one I went to was, well, I went to one on TikTok by the gals at Pros, Prose. They
Mm-hmm.
do like social media marketing and stuff. It was
Mm-hmm.
it was about TikTok. It was just about, they gave examples of like emotional hooks and stuff, which was great. But I think the best one I went to was Isabel Knight's. It was branding and it was like kind of invisible marketing sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But she has a podcast called Build Your Author Brand podcast, and we're love to have her on sometime. But you know, and I said this a bunch of times while I was there. If I heard this, like just generally, if I heard someone say, well, get on podcast and get on your local news and get on radio stations and stuff like that, I would be thinking, that's not really for that's not really reaching the audience I'm looking for, particularly,
Mm-hmm.
especially as a romance author. I
Right.
really am not sure that would be like the best advice, but that's one of the things she talked about. But because this book that I'm doing is more women's fiction and it is, it's kind of geared to a mature audience, women of a certain age, over a certain
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. that I think it might not be a bad idea to kind of set myself up in that space. I mean, I already am in that space on TikTok for sure, sort of on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram. I need to work on my Instagram a little bit more. But yeah, that was a good one because it really did make me think, podcasts might not be a bad idea for me to way for me to advertise this book
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I think so.
because of the kind of book it is,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not just for readers who read every day, all day, that kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
This
Not
genre
for,
readers. Yeah.
yeah, not for a genre whale reader.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So,
So,
so I'm
and
going to look at that. Well, I already have looked into it. Did a little chat GPT search and came up with
right.
ideas. So that's good. But yeah, I mean, just thinking more along the lines of kind of casting a wider net
Mm-hmm.
with this book,
Mm-hmm.
while also looking at, you know, narrowing down my audience. I I
Right.
feel
Because it's not the same.
no,
It's similar, but it's not a rom com.
no,
Definitely not a rom com.
no, and it's similar, and as Johnson was like, Jamie, just your readers are going to want this book. Just don't worry
Mm-hmm.
about all
Don't
the stuff I've been
overthink it.
worrying about, basically.
Yeah.
And she's right. She's not a panicker. She is not, and she's usually right. So
Yeah.
it it made me feel better. So those are my
Yeah.
things. Yeah, mostly. And
Yeah.
what a great community this is. I'm always reminded how
Mm-hmm.
amazing people are that do what we do, and we're just really lucky that we get to do this and be in this community with all these smart people. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we
And
got to
all, yeah, just the,
Penn and Sasha Black for a while, and that was
yeah.
so great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you get to meet so many people who are writing so many different things. So that's always interesting to me. And then we also went to Reader Nation. We didn't sign books, but we walked around and talked to the different people who were signing. And it was interesting to see all the different genres that were there, and then all the different vendors. Just talking with them about, a lot of them were or are authors, and they've
Mhm.
started something to help authors because they understand our problems so well.
Right.
And it's just, I love to see things that have grown organically from the community. Someone that said, "Oh, this is a problem. Let me fix this."
Mhm.
So yeah, it was a great week. I enjoyed it. It was like a long week for me because
Yeah.
it seemed like a long time there because more I do. I've done some shorter things lately, so this seemed like a longer
Mhm.
event, but it was good, and I learned a lot of, I have new ideas, things to try out. Yeah, and just really enjoyed catching up with people that I haven't seen in a while. So it was good.
Yeah, it was good. Can we talk about the book funnel thing?
Yes. Damon talks about this a little bit
Oh,
in when I
good.
talked to him. Book Funnel has a new feature where you can sign ebooks. It's basically inserting a custom page, a digital page, I guess you'd call it, into an ebook that you're going to send to
Mhm.
someone. And it's pretty cool. It's in beta. So I'm sure if you're interested in it, you could message them and get access to it if you don't already have access. But
Right.
Damon gives some more explanation about that. And then I think the other big news was that KDP has enabled translations. I think that's also in beta within the KDP dashboard, where
Uh-huh.
you
For
can go,
Spanish.
yeah, English to Spanish. And then I think it was also German to English is another
Oh,
option that's in
okay.
there. So we don't really know anything else about that except that it's just started. So I
Right.
think this is going to be a whole new wave of translations and translation options. You can use them on KDP. I doubt you'll
Yeah.
be able to use them anywhere else.
Right.
So,
Check the fine print.
yeah, definitely. We'll
As
learn
with all
more.
things KDP.
Yeah, we'll learn more as the days go by.
Yeah.
So,
But we should probably get on with the episode unless you've got anything else you wanted to.
no, that is it. Just thanks to all our supporters. And it was great to meet some supporters in person. That was a lot of fun.
Was so
And this coming up is just a selection of, uh, I was going to say man on the street, but I guess it would be woman in the podcast hall talking to people in the expo hall, just talking to different people that I ran across. And it's got the background noise, like the crowd noise. So we will do our best to filter out, any shouts or loud noises, but there will be some of that in the background. But I thought it was cool. It gives it some ambiance, makes you feel like you're there.
Good. All right. Well, here we go.
All right, I'm here with Damon from BookFunnel. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. We are wrapping up. This is the last day of the conference, so I don't know if any of you have heard my voice before. It doesn't usually sound like this. It's pretty scratchy from the week. But yeah, it's been a great conference so far.
Yeah. So anything new from BookFunnel that you should tell people about?
So we actually are demoing our signed ebook feature here at the conference. We announced it. We did a little webinar for it a few weeks ago, but this is our first chance to really show it off. We have authors that are going to be using it during the Reader Nation event tomorrow, and it's just what it sounds like on the tin. You can actually open up ebooks and you can do a sign. You can put in a page, or you can sign the cover. You can sign a title page and send it off to a reader. And anytime that reader downloads their copy of the book, their copy and their copy alone has that personal signature added to it. So we have authors that are using it that want to use it for Kickstarter campaigns. A lot of times you do, the big thing right now is everybody's doing, special editions and hardcovers and all kinds of cool books, which are amazing and they look awesome. But some people just want to back your lower tiers. They just want the ebook edition. Well, now they can get a little something special too. They can get a signed ebook. So that's the big feature that we've just launched that we're talking about here at Author Nation.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, I'm here with Alex from Book Vault and just catching up with him. What's going on with Book Vault? How is your conference going and what's going on for you this year?
Yeah, so it's been a very busy year and a very busy conference as well. So it's been great talking to everyone. This year we've kind of further strengthened our bespoke editions. So again, all single copy on demand. We launched box sets, so you can get a single physical box set on demand. Sprayed edges, again, we've kind of strengthened with that with new machinery, and then also our foiling as well. So really kind of helping you produce beautiful books on demand.
Have you had a chance to go to any of the sessions here, or are you in the booth all the time?
We've been very pinned down at the booth, lots of meetings, so we've escaped to a couple, had a little look around, but yeah, it's been a very busy conference. Yeah. It's great just to be able to talk to people. I think it really helps with people putting a face to the name as well, and answer any questions that people have as well.
Perfect. And how are you finding Vegas?
I did my one bit of gambling yesterday, lost $10 in the first go, and that was me done. Yeah, I went to bed English time, and yeah, but it's okay. There's lots of things to experience and to do. So, and it's a great conference, and so many people are involved as well. So it's really good to see everyone.
Well, thanks for talking to us.
No, thank you.
I am here doing interviews, spur of the moment, with some attendees.
Hi, Melissa Storm here, and I'm having a great time at Author Nation, both as a presenter and attendee. And my favorite thing is always the people. I think when we hit industry points where we have challenges and a lot of fears and changes, we always need to come back to that community to remember why we started so we can keep going. So for me, that conference has definitely achieved that this year, and I'm so excited to keep going and to write again after a 2-month hiatus. I'm finally ready to put pen to page again, and I wouldn't have had that without my community.
Perfect. And how are you finding Las Vegas? Have you done anything fun?
Well, Las Vegas isn't my favorite place in the world. The conference is, but what I have done fun is hang out with my community and do tarot at the bar every night. That's how I get to know the problems my friends are facing and hopefully give them more clarity. And I love seeing people when they light up because they know what they need to do next. Not because of woo-woo and the universe, even though woo-woo and the universe are awesome, but because they already knew and they just needed external confirmation and permission to do the thing. So I love to be the permission granter.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm going to hand off the microphone.
I'm Rebecca Brokaw-Sands. I'm an audiobook producer, narrator, and voice actor, and I work with Sound Booth and Podium and Independently. So I come here to Author Nation not so much for the panels and the conferences, but for learning some trends and really mostly making connections, meeting authors, working in the genres that I like to work in, and I love it, and sharing my knowledge and resources about the process of making audiobooks and the options that you have, distribution, partnering, marketing, all of that good stuff. So it's been really fun to to hang out with my author friends that I knew and have worked with in the last couple years, and also make new ones, make new connections, start talking to newer authors or established authors who are looking into audio, and talk about the process and get really excited about that.
And how are you finding Las Vegas?
Las Vegas is fine. I've left the hotel once this year, so that's progress, I think. I think so much of it for me just is around the conference and the connections, so I don't really get to, it's not a focus for me to get out and really do Vegas. It's more about the community and the connections, like Melissa said.
So my name is Evan Gowan. I'm the founder and indie developer of Story Origin. And I come every year. I always love this conference. To me, it feels like a high school sleepover where you just get to stay up late, chatting with people, having fun conversations. But at the end of the night, you can say, okay, I'm done now, and go back to your hotel room, rather than being like, guys, I want to go to sleep now. So I always love coming to this conference and hanging out with authors and chit-chatting and stuff. In terms of Las Vegas, I definitely don't take advantage of it the way that I probably should while I'm here. Mostly I just spend my time hanging out with authors and trying to talk to as many as possible. And then I just am inside the conference hall all week long, and I forget what the sunlight looks like, and I forget what trees look like. And then when I go back home, I'm like, oh, yes, there's a wider world. I don't live inside of a tiny bubble. But yeah, I always love coming in. This year has been... It really feels like the energy this year is so much higher than last year. And Joe and the team have been doing a really great job with the conference and keeping things going. And he's got a lot of good ideas for next year. And he's always trying to improve things with this conference as well. And so I'm really excited to see where things go, because I think it's going to keep growing. And I think it's going to keep improving and getting better and better addressing the needs that authors have.
So tell us just a little bit about Story Origin in case somebody's curious.
Oh, yeah, sure. So Story Origin is a marketing platform for authors. You can, create reader magnet landing pages, universal book links, build your author website, put up beta copies. You can do a whole lot of stuff with Story Origin. I started writing back in high school. Always had an interest in writing, got interested in tech and entrepreneurship in college, and then eventually left my job because I wanted to get back into writing and then build tools for authors. And I went and I talked to a bunch of authors, and they're like, well, I use this service for building my mailing list, this service for finding reviewers, this service for creating universal. And I was like, okay, you have like 8 services, 5 spreadsheets. I'm going to build a one-stop shop for it all. So that's sort of always been my goal with Story Origin, is just keep adding things to make authors' lives easier.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Christine Wellert, and I am a new author. I only have one book published, another one soon to be published. So this is my first time at Author Nation, and it has been incredible. I am an introvert, and so it has been, I'm putting my big girl pants on and like actually talking to people and reaching out. So that has been, I've grown a little being at the conference, but the classes have been amazing. There hasn't been a single one that's just been a stinker for me. They've all been great. And just meeting people, like Melissa was saying, just building the community has been huge here. And I think it elevates all of us. And yeah, okay, so Vegas, not my thing. I did go out to do a little walkabout on accident because I got lost, but found myself in the Bellagio. And there's a really cool like fall flower display there. So I did that, and that's about it. That's all I've done.
I'm Diana Zarissa, and Author Nation is just community, and that's why I'm here. The sessions have been great. I went to a couple of really amazing sessions. The opening keynote was really fun, but 99% of the reason that I'm here is to be with my people and spend time just hanging out and talking and whatever. For Vegas, I'm not a big Vegas fan, but last night I went on the high roller Ferris wheel, and it was so much fun, because I'm secretly still 8 years old in my heart, and I went with my friend who laughed at me for the entire 30 minutes because I was just running from one side of the pod to the other, like, look, you can see this, look, you can see that, and he's just like, yeah, it's Vegas. But as we were coming down, the Bellagio fountain show started. So we got to watch the Bellagio fountain show, and I'm like, okay, I don't hate Vegas quite as much as I used to hate Vegas. So there's that.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Continuing our interviews, now I have Kevin McLaughlin.
Hi, yeah, I'm Kevin McLaughlin, and I've been having a great time here at Author Nation. It's been a really fun trip.
Okay. And how have you found the conference? Like, what has been your favorite session? Do you have one that was memorable for you?
Honestly, the one I probably learned the most from was Melissa Storm's talk about advertising. She's like a true master of that. Yeah. I'm good. She's excellent. Yeah. So I got some really good tips from that one.
Cool. And how are you finding Las Vegas?
I would really rather be anywhere else on earth other than here. The only reason I ever come to Las Vegas is for these events.
And is it just to connect with people?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, thanks for talking to us. Appreciate it.
No problem at all. Glad to meet you.
All right, I'm walking around talking to the vendors, and I've stopped at the Lulu booth, and we're going to hear from one of the Lulu representatives.
Hi, I'm Lolly from Lulu. I am our Senior Director of Marketing. I've worked at Lulu for almost 9 years, and we've been to Author Nation for a couple of years. We first came in 2022 when it was 20 books, 50K. So this is definitely an event that is near and dear to our hearts. And we love just getting the opportunity to come to events and really talk to authors and publishers and get to understand their author businesses and what they're trying to do to grow and scale. And at Lulu, one of our kind of main things that we do is POD and direct sales.
So what's the question you get the most often from authors about Lulu?
I think at this show, people really just want to know kind of how to get set up and get started with direct sales. I think in the past, they really wanted to kind of know how it works, and now it's more about, okay, I want to get started. I know that's the direction that I want to take my author business. I know that this is going to help me really get to know my readers better, take more control over the publishing experience, and make more money. So we are here to help with that.
Perfect. And have you done anything fun in Las Vegas?
Oh, we've done some good eating, is what I say. The food here is fantastic, so being able to go with my team and have some nice dinners has been really fun.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks.
All right, I am at the Author Scale booth right now, and I want to know a little bit about Author Scale. So can you introduce yourself and tell me more about that?
Absolutely. So I'm Genesis Davies. I'm the writer side of Author Scale. Basically what we do is take TikTok and make it super easy for authors. You upload your manuscript into our software. It pulls the hooks for you, makes a slideshow for you, and you can post it directly to TikTok.
And so the interactions you've had with authors here, what are they curious about? What are they asking about? What's the most frequently asked question you've gotten?
Okay, well, mostly people are super excited about the whole idea because everybody has troubles writing their own hooks. The biggest question I'd say is whether or not it'll work with their genre.
Okay.
So a lot of people are coming in there like, well, we know romance does well on TikTok, but what about science fiction? What about, fantasy and stuff like that? So it turns out that, yes, it works on
that's
TikTok.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then have you done anything fun in Vegas?
Not yet.
You've been pretty busy, right?
Very, very busy. It's been like up to 16-hour days networking and everything. But it's been really fun.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
No problem. Thanks.
Hey, I'm here with Dan Wood from Drafted Digital, and I just want to know anything that you've taken away from the conference, anything new or memorable that has gone on this year at Author Nation for you.
It's been a really great conference so far, and I've got to hear a lot of great speakers. There's been a lot of great advice around TikTok and all those things people are talking about. But just before the recording, you and I were talking about we do think a lot of people need to look at what all they're doing with their author career and not be so worried about what else should I be doing, but looking at what they're doing and what they can not do anymore. Be that something that they can outsource to someone else, or just something that's not really moving the needle, and just double down on your own strengths and what you really enjoy doing. So I think I feel like I've heard that from multiple people, and just it's great at conferences. There's a lot of new authors here that want to learn how to do everything, but for some of you that are more experienced, maybe you need to be dropping things.
Yeah, thinning things out, yeah.
Which feels weird. I mean,
it's a strange thing to say, right?
Yeah, as an entrepreneur, you don't ever want to be dropping things. You're always looking for new things, but double down on the things you're great at.
Yeah. And so you're a foodie. So have you had anything good to eat or anything that you've enjoyed? Any great restaurants, meals?
So many amazing things. Tom Donnelly organized a trip to Super Frico in Cosmopolitan. The food was excellent, but it also has a show component to it, and the show part was amazing too. So I highly recommend that. And then last night I went to Zuma and had great sushi and pork belly and a little bit of sake. So I would recommend that as well.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Vanessa Kier. What are some of your takeaways from the conference? Anything that you're going to try and implement in your business or anything you've learned?
The biggest thing that I've learned at this conference is things that I've heard on some of the podcasts, such as yours, but be authentic, make direct connections to your readers, be personal, and love what you write, and find the readers who connect with your particular brand of weirdness.
I love that, brand of weirdness. Have you done anything fun or eaten anywhere interesting here?
Yeah, there's a restaurant over at Paris called Mon Ami Gabi, I think, and I have a great breakfast. It's expensive, but I had a really great breakfast over there.
I had breakfast there too. It was excellent. Thanks. I'm here with Dale Roberts and just getting his maybe top takeaway from the conference.
I really enjoyed Mark Leslie Lefebvre's talk about going beyond the books. I'm very much about monetizing all forms of your IP. That way you're diversifying your income, so that way it's coming in a lot more. I've always believed strongly in that, but he introduced many other ideas that I hadn't even considered. So it's one of those cases, I can't wait to get home so that way I can start to test out some of these ideas.
Yeah. And you had a session, right?
Yes, I did.
So how was that? What did you talk about?
I talked about community building, and it was absolutely crazy. They put me in the smaller room. It filled up to the brim. People were turned away.
I was one of those.
It was a rowdy crowd, too. I was like, oh, my gosh. But it was very fun. The best way I could put it, it was almost like podcasting in front of a bunch of people.
Cool. Yeah.
That's the way it felt, because I was able to I knew what I was going to talk about. I'm not the type of person who's going to try to memorize lines when it comes to that, because I feel like when it comes from the heart, people can resonate with it a bit more.
Yeah.
But it was a great session. I feel like a lot of the authors walked away with some actionable insights that they can be able to go and take and level up their business and hopefully build a community that's going to be able to get their backs.
Yeah, cool. Do you have like a top tip for community building?
Consistency. That's the biggest thing is if you want to grow a community, you must show up consistently, because if you don't show up consistently, the audience won't show up consistently.
Yeah.
They need to be able to rely on you and be able to know, okay, this person's trustworthy. They're going to come to us time and again. And I think that's one of the things that I've been stubborn for so many years and why I've grown 2 massive YouTube channels is the fact that I just don't like giving up. And I like to make sure it works.
Yeah. And then have you done anything fun in Vegas?
Oh, my gosh. I've been to Vegas so many times before, but I was just chatting with somebody about this. Phil Marshall from Spoken.Press took out a small group of us over to a place called Super Frico.
Okay.
And they did a 5-course meal. It was, I got to the 3rd course. I was ready to tap out. It was so good, but I was so full. And then they had dancers that would come out in between, and they would have loud music, and and they're going on top of tables and things like that. It was nuts. They even had an operatic woman who came out in like this, holding a Triton in one hand, and she had this giant crown, and she looked like she was like a mermaid type thing. And she was singing opera, and she comes over to a table that was getting some type of a food. It was something like seafood stack or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need an opera singer to come in for every one of my meals, because now I just feel like it's official.
Only in Vegas, right?
Yeah, only in Vegas. But for sure, that blew my mind. Big shout out to Phil Marshall. I mean, geez, I was like, dude, this was overboard. I'm like, wow.
That's crazy. All right. Well, thanks for talking to us. If people want to find you on YouTube, what's your YouTube handle?
You can look up at Dale L. Roberts or at Self-Pub with Dale. Either one of those are 2 of my channels. Appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening today. You can support the podcast at wishidknownforwriters.com/support, and you can find the show notes at that same link. And we'll see everybody next week. Bye.